Welcome to Disney A, the Canadian-themed Disney travel podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Krysta.
And I'm Brandon.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Should
Old acquaintance be forgot and do some other stuff.
You know, my whole life I never understood these songs. Did you forget old friends? Or you remember them and it wouldn't make any sense.
I don't even know the words, so okay.
Shout out Robbie Burns for writing that song.
Yeah,
right?
He's got some good lyricizing, but I still don't really know what the song is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So in a recent episode 59, all the way last year.
Whoa, man.
We did a bit of an in-depth kind of summary look at Galaxy's Edge. So that was the newest land in Disneyland itself. Disneyland Land.
Land.
Yeah. So, of course, Avengers Campus is newer, but that's in California Adventure. Yes. So we're starting with looking at Disneyland. So this week we're looking at another land, but instead of talking about a new land, we're going to be talking about one of the originals. So basically we're starting a new year by talking about something old.
Yeah, it's the oldest.
It is.
I will say it's the oldest.
Are you?
Because it's the first one that anyone ever went into.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there were a few lands that showed up at the same time, but this was officially the first one anyone walked into. We are talking about Main Street, USA.
Main Street! Home of Starbucks.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yes. And we are, disclaimer, we are recording this in advance because it is holiday time, and we are holidaying.
So there's no news.
No.
So
no news. Okay.
Yeah.
But before we get to any of that, we are still like into nerd things and drinking things. So, Brandon, what is your nerd thing now?
Oh my goodness. Well, we're gonna go to the World Juniors.
Oh, hockey.
So that's where we are right now. That's why we're recording this.
Yes.
In the past for the future.
Hockey, yay!
Yeah, hockey.
I like hockey. I like live sports, and I really like hockey.
Fingers crossed that we can actually go.
Yeah. Yay, Omicron.
The NHL is currently paused. We'll see. Well, hopefully that we can still go to World Juniors. But go Canada.
Yay, Canada. Go Team Canada. And my second favorite team is Team Finland.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like Finland.
Yeah. I've been to Finland a few times. Friends in Finland.
They have lots of Jusis and Pekkas and
it's true, they
things
do.
like that.
It's true.
They have cool names.
I like that nerd thing. That's a good nerd thing. Since you didn't say it, I have a different nerd thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Can I say it? Okay. This summer we're going to Hamilton. Not Ontario.
Thank goodness.
So we have Broadway across Canada, and Hamilton is coming to a nearby city, and Brandon got tickets, and we're gonna go, and I'm very, very excited about it. And yeah,
they were very expensive tickets.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're gonna go.
You didn't throw away your shot
to buy tickets.
Yes. Yeah. So, but it's not until summer, so we have to wait for it.
Nice.
So, I was at work when Brandon got tickets. Story time. And I just happened to be in the class.
Because, you know what? Accountants, we get the job done.
Nice. Hold on. Anyway, I was in my writing class. I was teaching my writing class, right? And Brandon messaged me right away that he got tickets. And it was right at the beginning of class, just as the kids were coming in. And I had just watched and taught Hamilton to them. And they were all very involved in Hamilton. Very, very engaged. And so I told them... And
why wouldn't you be?
Exactly, fair. Shout out to our Hamilton episode from our, second month of recording?
Yeah, no.
Way back when.
It's a highlight.
Good.
You should revisit that one.
Yeah.
Solid.
So, eventually, when we've been doing this a little bit longer, I'm going to have a list of some of my favorite podcasts I listen to on their website have lists of their most recommended episodes, and I would say, even though it's one of our newest ones, Hamilton's still on there for me.
You could do a Disney A Legends episode.
Yes, nice. Yes, we're going to now. Now it's a thing. But they came in, and I told them that I was going to be going to Hamilton in Calgary, and we're going to be watching it and everything like that. And then they spent 10 minutes instead of doing class time, A, lamenting that they were not going, and B, just being extremely jealous that we are going, and C, trying to decide if they wanted you to have a brother who would marry them, or if you were old enough to be their father and you could adopt them. It was
neither of those work very well.
No, it was a weird conversation that I then had to put an end to because I was like, this is getting weird. No.
Yeah.
One called me mom to try it out, and I was like, just no.
No.
But anyway, you were very popular among my students because,
as I should be,
fair, because you got these tickets, and I was like, I don't care about that part. I just get to go to Hamilton.
I'm amazing.
So anyway, I'm really excited about it. That was the end of my story.
Okay, good story. Good story.
And I'm also excited because I love New Year's, and it's just after New Year's when this comes out.
I do like New Year's. I do feel like there may be a lot of pressure put on it. It's a bit of an amateur party night.
Okay. Yep.
Enjoy New Year's for what it is. Don't put too much pressure on it.
That's kind of how I feel. I like New Year's. We have our own traditions. We always watch When Harry Met Sally.
Almost always.
Well, we always watch it. We try to watch it right after New Year's, like right after midnight. If we're busy doing stuff, then obviously that doesn't work. So then we watch it like New Year's Day, or if we're traveling, like as soon as we get home. But like we watch it. It's one of the first things we do in the new year.
When Harry Met Sally is the perfect New Year's movie, and you should watch it and love it.
Mm-hmm. So, like,
period.
That's one of my favorite things. So I like New Year's. And I like starting new journals and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah,
But don't put pressure on yourself. Like, it's just fun. Like, it's just...
Don't go crazy with resolutions that you can't keep. But, I don't know. Having a fresh start is always... nice.
Exactly.
It can be fun.
Yeah. I always feel like I get 2 a year because it's school year.
Yes.
And then New Year for me.
I remember being in school and pretending to have a fresh start.
Yeah.
And failing like a week later, but that's fine. I did have a successful New Year's resolution one time.
You did. Relatively recently, as far as things go. A few years ago.
4 years ago.
Go ahead.
5 years ago. I decided that I was going to learn to drink black coffee because putting cream and sugar in my coffee every day and having 4 of them was not healthy.
Right. And you did.
And I did. And now I like black coffee.
Yeah.
So
and by proxy, then you got me to like black coffee because I get coffee in bed on weekends, and you bring me my coffee, and you started bringing me black coffee because then I wouldn't complain about it.
I was like, tough. You're drinking black coffee. I'm not.
And you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, as the saying goes. So I started by just drinking
but
those.
But what if the gift horse has bad teeth?
That's true. I mean you try to
divert your
eyes. Divert your eyes.
Okay.
So I started by just drinking that black coffee, and now I just drink black coffee as well. It grew from there.
I don't mind putting stuff in my coffee once in a while, but if you don't like black coffee, you don't like coffee.
Yeah, fair. I agree. I'm not a big resolutions person. I'm more like I set goals for the whole year, but it's things like how many books do I want to read in this year, or more like things I want to focus on. Like I'm going to focus on wellness or being more active. Like they're very general types of things. I'm not like I'm not like a specific resolution person.
I'm going to play more Beat Saber.
Well, I decided I wanted to increase my hours playing Animal Crossing. Finally, a resolution I can keep.
Woo. Woo.
I resolved that I'm going to watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness this year.
Wow. What a reach. Okay.
What are you drinking?
Well, I have a local beer here, and it's called Cold IPA because it is cold and it's an IPA.
Clever name.
Very clever name. It is also delicious. Shout out to Past Beer.
Yeah, we like our local brewery. We are, like we said, we're recording this in the past. We're time traveling. Woo. I'm still working. I was behind. I'm working on my gin advent calendar, and today I'm drinking chocolate cherry gin, and you think it is vile.
It is vile. It is disgusting.
I think with sparkling water, it is delicious.
Okay, let me have a taste with sparkling water.
You haven't tried it. You had it straight. And
I had it straight, and
I don't like any of them straight.
I almost dry heaved.
Okay, well, don't do that. No. Now we have a recording on, and that would be awkward, and I'd have to do so much editing, and...
Okay, it's slightly better, but now it just tastes like if someone dumped the mat at a bar where all the drippings come.
You're gross.
And put it into a glass with some sparkling water. No, it's gross. I think
it's fine. You're gross. Okay, and now we would have normally here a Marvel Minute, but let's just say Hawkeye is done.
Hawkeye was done.
Yes.
And now we're on to Star Wars Minute.
Right. But I did want to mention before Star Wars Minute here that, yeah, okay. So we've been having Marvel Minutes because there hasn't been Star Wars content, and there's always been Marvel all throughout 2021. But I did want to mention next episode, we are going to be talking about Hawkeye as a whole. So consider this your first warning to watch Hawkeye then.
Hopefully Hawkeye doesn't have too many holes in him.
I am not okay with that statement. We have not watched episode 6, so I have no idea, but I'm concerned. I have a lot of concern. And
hopefully this was not an unintentional spoiler, like when we were at Comic-Con
Infinity War,
and the guy was like, Infinity War had just come out and was like, spoiler alert, Spider-Man dies, as a joke, because that was supposed to be the safe character that wouldn't die.
Because he had a movie coming out right away. And
everyone gasped because they had seen it, and it was this thing.
And he got, like, he was like, what? What? Like, I haven't seen it. What? Why are you gasping? What? Is Spider-Man okay? He had, like, a complete panic attack. He said it into a microphone in an auditorium with, like, thousands of people in there, and that was hilarious. It was really funny.
That was the best spoiler alert thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was completely unintentional, and I just felt so bad for him. But he was both, like, feeling really badly, but also, like, really concerned because he hadn't seen it. Now,
wait. He's like, wait, what? What's
wrong with Spider-Man? Why are you gasping? Yeah. Please watch Spider-Man.
Yeah, do watch Spider-Man. Do watch Spider-Man.
And go watch Hawkeye, because you have a week from now.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, Boba Fett's out now.
It is. I love it.
I'm sure it's fantastic.
It's so good.
We are definitely recording
with all the Star Wars-iness.
Yeah. You know what?
He's got a helmet.
Yeah, I feel like
still has the dent in it.
Boba Fett's in there. There's probably the throne.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some Star Wars characters.
It looks like it's kind of gangstery, maybe Godfather style. In space. Star Wars works best when it's blank in space.
It's true.
It's always been that way.
Western in space.
Samurai in space. Yeah.
100%.
It's always been that
Hero's
way.
journey in space.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Hero's journey, period. But it's the perfect example of the Hero's journey.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we're going to be switching our Marvel Minute to, like, just current, and right now it's going to be Boba Fett Minute. But yes, we have not watched the first episode. I'm sure we totally fluked out. Like, we had you convinced, didn't we, that we have seen the first episode of Boba Fett?
Yeah.
We probably really convinced you.
He is Boba Fett.
Yes. But yeah, we're recording before it comes out. It is out now. Watch that. We will, of course, be doing spoiler-free until the whole show is done.
Of course.
Yes.
No, spoilers are bad.
Spoilers are bad, except that one Spider-Man one from
Infinity War. It's kind of funny.
Okay, so now that, like you said, we have no news other than Boba Fett's out. It's a new year, and we're excited for Disney content. So, let's talk main topic. At the park. Main Street USA. First of all, when I say Main Street USA, Brandon, what comes to mind?
Milling about before rope drop and rushing through to get to Space Mountain.
Exactly.
Or Big Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's often an overlooked land, or the place you travel to get to one of the other lands, but it's actually considered the first themed land in the park. So it is a themed land. It's not just like the thing you get through.
It is a themed land. It is supposed to be anywhere USA, like back in the olden days.
Super idealized.
Not really my thing, but I'm sure you're going to tell me all about why it's awesome.
I am. Okay, so here are some highlights for you. Like, it is done turn of century style. Christmas tree during the holiday season and the Mickey Jack-o'-lantern during Halloween. 2 huge photo ops, but like
they are pretty cool.
They're super cool, and I know a lot of Disney nerds who live in the area say, or who get to travel to the area, say it's not Christmas until you see that Christmas tree. It's not Halloween until you see that Mickey Jack.
It is a pretty. It's not the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Hawkeye. But it is a pretty cool Christmas tree. It is pretty cool.
Agreed. There's also the partner statue.
The partner statue is good.
And this one is my favorite, like, meeting place. Where you want to meet, and you can't meet in front of the castle unless you're a crazy person. So, meet at the partner statue. And there's an emotional tug there with that one.
Well, sure, it's supposed to be, but okay.
Yeah. The oldest building in Disneyland Resort is the Opera House, which is on Main Street, USA.
Okay.
And this is my fun did you know?
Yeah.
Except it's not trivia questions, just I'm telling you.
Oh.
So the cannons in the center of the square were actually used in the 1800s by the French Army. So that's the oldest thing in Disneyland Resort, just not the oldest building.
Interesting. 1800s. Were they on the losing side of the War of 1812? Okay. Moving on.
You like those crickets in there?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're based on Disney's hometown of Marceline, Missouri. And, okay. Food, shopping are the big draws here.
Yeah.
Other than...
Obviously, there's no rides.
Well, there are some attractions listed, but there are no rides. Okay.
No rides, no. Okay. Attractions are not rides.
Well, let's talk about the attractions first of all, so we can just get through that. So the attractions listed are the Disney Gallery, the Railroad, Main Street Cinema, City Hall, Fire Station, and the Main Street Vehicles. Now, highlights here, your Fire Station, of course, has the light.
Yeah.
Yep, the light.
Walt's office, yeah.
Exactly. Main Street Cinema is a good place for air conditioning that is usually not crowded.
Yeah, because it's kind of lame, but...
There's old cartoons and stuff like that. It's just like, you can watch those cartoons in your living room is the
on
only
Disney
thing.
Plus.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. But if you're like, okay, well, so-and-so went to get a coffee and, my Genie Plus thing isn't up and I need a place with air conditioning to sit for a few minutes, that's an okay place where you can just, like, take a minute.
If you have to, I guess.
Yes, okay. For me, the highlight here is the Railroad.
Yeah, the Railroad it circles Disneyland, but this is where it starts, so... I guess it's where you enter through. You enter under the railroad station, so it is a focal point.
It is where you leave today. Tomorrow in fantasy.
Okay, great. I'll give you that. I think the railroad's pretty cool.
So when Disneyland was closed, there was a lot of conversation about like what would be the first thing you would do if you could, like if you could just go, what would be the first thing you'd want to do?
Do whatever you wanted to do. Irrespective of everything else.
Exactly. And I mean, when we go, of course, we would do like rope drop and you go to one of the big ones and things like that. I said, but like, if I had my wish and just went to anything, in my ideal world, what I would want to do is you go and you do the railroad all the way around once and then you continue to get off in one more stop to New Orleans Square and then you do Pirates and Haunted Mansion.
A full circle plus one.
Exactly. The full circle tour plus one. That would be my ideal. And then you do the big ones after that. But you're getting your full nostalgia. When Disneyland opened, your first image, the first thing that happened was the train came with Walt there in the front and Mickey, and it's a thing.
Walt did like trains.
He did. That was part of the whole premise behiand the whole thing.
That's really the only reason that Disneyland was built. He just wanted to
play with his trains.
He wanted to play with his trains.
So, that is the center of it. I know it does stop in other parts, but the center of the railroad is Main Street, USA. So for me, as far as attractions goes, that is it.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
The Main Street vehicles are like fun to do. I know you're like a ride person where you're like, okay, let's just go through and get to the next things.
Yeah.
But if you ever do have, I have done some of the Main Street vehicles before, and it is very much a like, I want to wander, I want to do these things. Now, Main Street USA, I know I like it more than you do. It still would be like really near the bottom of the barrel for me.
Right.
I mean, it's not Toontown right now or anything, but
it's better than Toontown.
It's better than Toontown. There's a lot of cool theming and stuff like that, but the theming and things doesn't actually mean anything to me.
Right.
Is what I know I hear a lot of like really big Disney fans who love Main Street USA. And I just, other than the partner statue, other than the railroad, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I like the names on the windows, like all of those things.
That stuff is cool.
That's super cool. But I'm still like looking at it as I walk through to get somewhere else.
And I like the red and white lights on the one store, the Coca-Cola store.
I love the theming.
There's an odd number of lights.
So they have the half.
They have the half, or like stuff like that is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
finding the hidden Mickeys in
But at the end of the day, it's a place to sell you your Starbucks and your Mickey ears.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second. So we do understand, though, I guess it's just what we're saying, that it means a lot more to Americans than it would mean to us.
Yeah.
Right? Because we don't have
every town USA doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot to Canadian.
No. Well, I guess every town overly idealized USA doesn't mean a whole lot.
We don't have that American patriotism.
Yeah, we don't.
Through those rose-colored glasses.
Exactly.
We just don't.
We're a little bit more
cynical.
Yes. I was going to say realistic, but we are more cynical. It's true. So, like, I mean, that's cool, and we like the theming and everything like that, but it's not going to be, like, hitting us in the heart or anything.
No.
Walt does.
Yeah.
The light in the fire station, the partner statue, that stuff gets me. But, yeah. Okay. So, let's say we recognize that if you're American, you're probably not agreeing with that. With our, like, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. You mentioned a couple times you're getting your Starbucks. Okay,
yeah.
So here's your list of food options.
Okay.
Let's start with a highlight for me. Churros!
Churros!
There are churro carts.
There are churro carts, yeah.
Okay, besides that, we have the Carnation Cafe, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Gibson Grill ice cream, Jolly Holiday, tomato soup I need to have. It is tomato soup weather right now, okay? So...
yeah, the grilled cheese and tomato soup looks pretty freaking
Well, I mean,
good.
that's like one of the best meal items ever. The only thing is when I'm in California, I never think hot food.
Literally, it could be the coldest day of the year in California, and we're like, oh, shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah, 100% serious. Oh,
not even
joking.
Like, literally.
So there was like really cold days in California lately, and I looked up the weather and was laughing because I would definitely be wearing like short sleeve shirt in that weather. And I might wear like capris. Maybe.
I don't know. We're
cold-blooded. I don't know.
Warm-blooded.
Warm-blooded, yes.
We're just built of hardier stuff.
It's true.
It's just the way it is. I'm sorry. I don't know.
It was minus 29 degrees Celsius, not including the wind chill the other morning, and I was like, it's kind of cold. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Really cold.
It's almost cold enough where it's the same.
Getting close, right? It's just after 30 where that is.
40.
Okay.
40 Celsius in Fahrenheit, minus 40 is the same.
Okay.
So it is getting real close.
Right. And I was just like, it's a little cold. I wonder what this is. I wonder how cold it actually is. So in case you're wondering, that is minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. At that point, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's cold.
It's cold. So anyway, unless it's like really cold, I'm probably not getting tomato soup and grilled cheese, but I kind of want it. I don't know. Jolly Holiday. Little Red Wagon is there. The Main Street Fruit Cart, Main Street Market House, that's your Starbucks. Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't used to be Starbucks, but anyway. Plaza Inn, this one gets a shout out.
Plaza Inn is a great place to grab a bite of food.
Yeah. This is one of if you're like budgety people, this is one of the most bang for your bucks you can get in Disneyland itself.
Absolutely. The fried chicken there is tasty and fills you up.
Yeah.
And is reasonably, very reasonably priced for what you get.
You get a lot of food.
Yeah.
A lot of good food too.
Yeah, no, it's tasty. I mean, I would say if you're only gonna have fried chicken once in Southern California, you go to Knott's Berry Farm.
I would agree.
But it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And if you're like, if you want like a nice hearty meal that's quick, and you don't feel like you're paying for nothing.
And you don't want to like go across the street to Denny's or whatever.
Exactly. And actually, I've had their pasta. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, you're getting fried chicken when you're there. But anyway. So yeah, Plaza Inn, definitely worth a stop. The popcorn carts are there. So if you're in line for one of those buckets.
The buckets. Oh man, there's some good buckets. I know. I hope when we eventually are allowed to travel.
Oh my god.
Hey, this is a travel podcast.
Hey, we should do that at some point,
yeah.
hey?
Yeah. So when we're allowed to do that, I want to be able to go to Main Street USA
to get a popcorn bucket.
Stand in line and get a popcorn bucket. I want a good one. They have lots of good ones.
They have lots of good ones. Yeah. So, fingers crossed when we go, we can get a good one. And then there's a refreshment corner, which is your Coca-Cola with the
those.
Definitely keep your eye out for the colored lights.
The half and half lights is a cool Easter egg.
Very cool. Then you mentioned the shopping.
Mm-hmm.
So I've spent a lot of money in some of these places, mostly the Emporium. But
is there anywhere I could buy lingerie?
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was.
Yeah, I know.
Like legit.
That is bizarre trivia that you could. There was a lingerie store.
Yep, and you can sit on the porch of it still.
You can. Yeah.
So there was definitely, when it first opened, a legitimate lingerie store. Mm-hmm. When it first opened, Main Street USA was built to be more like your actual old streets, and they would have had a lingerie shop, and would have had the penny arcade. Actually, would have been a penny arcade and all of these things. So they actually had those. That didn't really translate into something you kept for very long.
Right.
Yeah. So no, you cannot buy lingerie anymore.
Shucks.
They probably have undergarments somewhere, but not your fancy lingerie.
Right. Some Mickey Mouse underpants.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so some of the shopping places, there are many more. Okay, so there are many more, but I'm going to list some of the main ones. So you have the Candy Palace. Yay, candy.
Candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
The Crystal Palace, Disney Clothiers, Disneyana, the Disney Showcase, the Emporium. I've spent so much money in the Emporium. Mad Hatter, and the Magic Shop. Where Steve Martin used to work. Or, I'm not sure if he did or if he was erroneously, because I know he also served ice cream. But I think he worked in the Magic Shop as well. Yeah.
Interesting.
Did you know that Kevin from the Backstreet Boys used to play Aladdin at Disneyland? He was like a walk-around face character for Aladdin. I mean, he was Aladdin's friend.
Neat.
Speaking of famous people who used to work at Disneyland. Best. Magic Shop.
Boy bands, eh?
Yeah.
You didn't watch Boy Band Christmas.
No, I missed it.
Sad.
Very sad. Sad trombone.
I did like how they were debating whether they should still be called boy bands, though, since they're like 47 years old.
The answer is yes.
Oh, I agree. They should. I mean, that's what they are.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a men band.
No, that'd be ridiculous.
That would be ridiculous.
Does not sound the same.
No.
Okay, and then the other thing that I find Main Street USA that I equate with it in my brain is some of the entertainment.
Dapper Dance!
That's number one on the list. Since
Yes.
1959, there have been the Dapper Dance in Disneyland.
Man, they took 2 years to get Dapper Dance?
4.
4?
Opened in 55.
Oh.
This is 59. The Disneyland Band, since 1955.
55.
They played opening year. They played opening day, actually.
What took so long with the Dapper Dance? They're so cool.
They had to hire a cappella people. I don't know. The flag retreat ceremony is apparently quite moving. Again, would obviously mean a lot if you had...
Yeah, that Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, okay. But that has been going on since 1955.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
The Main Street piano player is really cool. Have you ever seen him? Okay, that's a cool one that you can happen upon. And there's something called the Straw Hatters. This one I've never seen.
Not the Dapper Dance, so
you just care about the Dapper Dans.
Yeah.
The Dapper Dans are really cool. One of my favorite memories of Disneyland, one of my favorite memories of Disney... Well, a lot of my favorite memories of Disneyland involve, like, unexpected little things, right?
That pixie dust.
Exactly. Like, the time you run on and the cast... Or don't run in Disneyland.
No running.
But you rush on and the cast member, like, lets it open a little bit longer, or...
It's 12. 12:03 and they still let you on Pirates.
Exactly. Or alternatively, you're there. Speaking of the end, I was talking the other day about being on Storybookland Canal, and they stopped the attraction so you could watch the fireworks, which I'm sure they do all the time, but we didn't know that. It was very nice. Or in the morning,
it would be sad if they stopped you in the middle of Monstro and you couldn't see anything.
That is true. Hopefully they've had that boat go a little further.
Wah, wah.
Or stay back a little bit more. Anyway, but one time we were just like walking around.
They're just giving you that full Geppetto experience.
Wah, wah, wah.
just darkness everywhere. Okay, continue on.
But one thing is, like a lot of the things, the big events, of course, are in your program and stuff, like your parade, things like that. But a lot of the stuff on Main Street USA,
you're talking stuff that's not in your program.
Exactly. And I remember the one time we were walking down the street and they had, I don't think it was the Dapper Dans, something. Maybe they were part of it or something. But there was like a little impromptu, like we would say it was like a cavalcade, part of a cavalcade now. But it was like a little show with like Minnie Mouse and things like that. And they just had like a little impromptu little song and dance with her.
Oh boy, it's me, Minnie Mouse. Oh wait, no, that's Mickey Mouse. Okay.
Yes. And then she wandered away. Or
I'm Minnie Mouse.
Mary Poppins did like a little dance song kind of little mini, not even like a full show, just like she came and did like 2 songs and then went off. But I remember to this day,
spoonful of sugar,
some probably, but I remember to this day walking along and it was the group was singing like My Girl's Got is 5'2" with eyes of blue, and then you came around the corner, it was Minnie Mouse singing and dancing to it, and it was just like a really cool little
Minnie Mouse
moment.
Is much taller than 5'2".
But I liked it because I'm 5'2".
Yes, she's much taller than you.
Yeah, she is.
Much taller.
Well, it's the heels. It's the yellow heels.
She does have tall heels, yes. She's also much taller than you.
She's a mouse. She's small.
Okay. I would be terrified to see a 5'2" mouse. Just saying.
Fair. What about one wearing high heels? But she was singing and dancing.
Then I'd be like, where was the radiation leak?
No. Disneyland.
Yeah. Explains a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's all these little moments in Disneyland. Things like the Dapper Dans showing up, right? And that happens a lot on Main Street USA, I find.
That is more common on Main Street because there's not a lot else going on there.
Nope. The shops on Main Street USA do stay open longer than the rest of the park. So if, say, Disneyland itself closes at midnight, you can shop till 1.
Right.
If it closes at 10, you can shop till
Which is cool.
11.
It's a good way
to... I mean, COVID rules notwithstanding. This is like regular times.
Normal Disneyland operations. No, and that's a cool way to experience Main Street. And I will give you, Main Street has good kinetic energy.
Yes.
Which I think Disney has lost over the years. It was always a big thing. Like, you had the People Mover and stuff like that.
Right.
You had the Sky Tram going through the Matterhorn. That's gone. All these things have gone, but you still have the Main Street vehicles moving throughout the. It's, I don't know. I think that kinetic energy is important.
And it's
maybe this is just the like Roller Coaster Tycoon developer in me thinking you got bonuses for having kinetic energy in it, and that was influenced directly by Disney. So
it's true. That is true. Also, it is one of the first places when you get the air pump, the scent pumps coming out into the air. So let's start you on your I want to buy stuff and be immersed in that.
You have your olfactory senses going, and your auditory, they start pumping music.
They do.
First thing in the morning is very jaunty tune, and then as you're coming out at the end of the day, it's more somber and wind you down, that sort of thing.
Do you know which song gets played more than any other on Main Street USA?
No.
It's actually a song from Hello Dolly, and it's the one that they do in WALL-E, when it's the put on your Sunday clothes one. They play it in the they play it like downtown Disney a lot, in between the two parks, and they play it on Main Street USA a lot. Without the words, like an instrumental.
Yeah, of course.
Turn of the century style one. They play that. I've heard, again, it's not confirmed, but I've heard that it's played a lot.
Excellent on Dapper Days.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the whole era they're trying, like that whole just like blast to the past.
Yes. So Main Street USA is not my favorite part of Disneyland, obviously. But I would probably spend a lot of time there if we ever went during Dapper Days.
Like we were supposed to?
Like we were supposed to.
It is very picturesque and it is very immersive, and I'm up for that. We're kind of rides people. You're even more so than
even more. Yes.
I'm thematic.
I will go on Big Thunder Mountain 10 times before I spend 5 minutes in downtown Disney or Main Street USA.
Whereas I would consider a Main Street vehicle or the railroad as like a highlight for me. So I'm like I like attractions, but as long as it's well themed, I'm happy.
That's fine. I'm glad it exists.
Yeah,
it's not really for me, but no. I'm glad to see it, and it does start your day off.
It does, and it like moves you into it, right? It
is well designed, and it serves a purpose. Like even though it's not my favoriteest thing or for me, I do appreciate it.
Yeah. For me, it is all about like that first immersion, and it's a transition. It's taking you to the statue, it's taking you to the castle, it's taking you to whichever they're
it's designed that way.
Exactly.
You can see the castle, and it takes you into that.
And then when you're leaving, and you see that light, and it's just, yep. You go under the railroad when you're entering, and you go under the railroad, and you see the sign, and you move through. It's a building of anticipation, and then when you're leaving, it's a nostalgia factor. So it does what it's supposed to do for us.
I think you've convinced me.
Really?
Yeah. Main Street USA is not so bad.
Yeah. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's not, we often say know what you're doing and do it well. I think Main Street USA does it.
Yeah. It's certainly doing a better job than Tomorrowland is doing.
That's it. That's the thing. And a way better job than Toontown's currently doing, but at least that's on the slate for renovations.
Yeah, hopefully Tomorrowland's not far behind.
Hey, we were talking
Pour one out for Tomorrowland.
Last episode we were talking about things we were looking forward to in 2022. It's now 2022. We never mentioned the
refurb of Tomorrowland.
Well,
hopefully Tomorrowland. Yes, Toontown.
Yes.
The refurb of
and Downtown
Toontown.
Disney.
And yes, Downtown Disney is smaller refurb of Downtown Disney.
Yeah, but Toontown's a big deal. We didn't talk about that. We mostly talked about films and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Toontown's huge, and that's going to be down for a full year, so it's not even something you're looking forward to for 2022.
I'm looking forward to them working on it and doing something about it. And then further down the road in 2023 seeing what
2023 happens. I am excited for what they can do with Toontown. I would love for Toontown to be cool because Roger Rabbit is a fantastic film.
Yep.
And it needs to be given its solid dues.
Exactly.
And I mean Mickey's Runaway Railway looks like a cool ride, cool animation style.
Yeah. So Main Street USA isn't absolutely bottom of the barrel for me. It is a transitional piece. It does what it's supposed to do. It is more successful in doing what it's supposed to do currently than either Toontown or Tomorrowland, even though I like Tomorrowland better. But
there is some cool stuff in Tomorrowland, but Tomorrowland as a land
whereas Main Street USA is a cohesive land that does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, makes you buy stuff.
Yeah, and eat stuff. And it is
walk towards other stuff.
Yep, and is the first themed land that you get to be in Disneyland. Transitions you in, all good. I have trivia for you.
Oh, good. I'm going to be so good at this. So good.
You might be. Number 1. Certain scents are pumped in via smellitizers. Smellitizers? Smellitizers?
Yeah. I think you... This was a trivia from one of our
one of the original trivias
episodes.
was what was it called? Now we know it's smellitizers.
Yeah.
So one of my question now is, what is one of the scents pumped into Main Street? There's several, so you just have to name one of them.
I don't know. I'm just gonna take a wild guess and say like hot buttered popcorn.
Okay. Number 2, where can you find the names of Walt's family?
On Windows.
Okay. And who are the Cadaver Dans?
Oh, they're the Dapper Dans at Halloween time.
There you go. You got at least one of them right.
Yeah. Just one.
I said at least one.
Just the one. Oh, I'm being told that the episode is over. So I have to read the outro now.
I'm glad I convinced you about Main Street USA, though.
Yeah, you know what? It's okay. I'm still going to power through it to get to the rides. But
unless the Dapper Dans are singing, and then you're going to listen to them.
Maybe.
If it's later in the afternoon. Okay.
Maybe in the afternoon. Rope drop is serious business for me. I'm
okay.
sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
But that's our episode for today. Thanks to El Mule, who's responsible for the custom theme song that you heard at the top of the show. You can find a link to his work at disneya.wixsite.com/podcast, where you can also find a link to our social media accounts like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we're too old for TikTok.
Much too old for TikTok. You can find Disney episodes on all of your favorite podcast streaming platforms and on our YouTube channel, Adventures A. If you've rated or reviewed our podcast, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you haven't yet, you should probably do that.
Definitely.
You should also watch Spider-Man. No, wait, that was last episode. But you
watch
should also
Hawkeye,
watch Spider-Man.
But also watch Spider-Man. But also watch Hawkeye, because we're talking about it soon.
Yeah. Next episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you know someone else who would like listening to us, be sure to recommend Disney A to them. You can hear Disney A episodes on Magic the Mouse Radio, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at our new time at 3 p.m. Eastern. Magic the Mouse Radio can be found on most radio station apps. Like you said, next week we're talking about Hawkeye.
We have given you lots of warning this episode. You have a week to get caught up. You better do that.
Yeah, we're going to spoil all the things because, you know, it's been done for a little while now.
We're trying to give you some time here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the best we can do.
We're going to hit it right in the bullseye.
Ah, nicely done.
Yeah.
Unless I quit. I don't know yet.
I don't think you quit.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
If anything happened, we haven't watched the last episode when we're recording this, because we're recording it in the past for the future. I said if anything happens to Pizza Dog, I quit everything.
Pizza Dog or Clint.
I did say that. If Clint dies, I am going to just spend the rest of my life in the fetal position crying on my bed.
So tune in next week to see if it's just me or maybe both of us. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. But I'm Brandon.
And I'm Krysta. And hopefully in that next adventure, TTFN, Tata forever. Thanks for listening to Disney A.
Old acquaintance be forgot and do some other stuff.